welcome to this brand new channel called the Humanitarian Hub. My name is Amy Broderick. I'm going to be your host for this channel, and I thought I would just take a few minutes here and give you a little overview of myself, why I created the channel, what the content's going to be like, and who this might be for. And so, first of all, let me just give you a little scoop on myself and where I come from. I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm an artist and now turned humanitarian. And I love anything related to the arts. I'm a avid gardener. I love working with animals and children. And I love making a difference. And so this all began at a pretty early age for me. I had a dad who was a military vet. He was stationed in Vietnam, or he was stationed in Thailand during the Vietnam War. And when he came back, we were at church one day, and the church asked us to adopt some of the Thai refugee families. And so my dad felt very compelled from his time in Thailand to adopt a family. And so that's kind of where it began for me. I got to see giving in action with my father and saw just how he invested in this family, and it changed their life. They were able to get settled, get job, get skills, and just having the support of somebody that had their back made all the difference to them. And I'll never forget, they would come over with these ginormous platters of Vietnamese egg rolls and fish sauce as their way to say thank you, and we would share a meal. And yeah, so very cool. I always love the food part. But anyway, I just know my family sort of set the tone early on for me. And I think I was in like fifth grade, and my fifth grade teacher asked me to teach this little Thai girl how to speak English. And I had never done that kind of thing before, but I guess I was excelling at English at the time. So she said, I want you to just go off and work with her. And so I invested that year in actually teaching her language. And so I got to see, even in elementary school, what my contribution to her created for her own life. And it was meaningful. And it was also contagious, because it was like, I want to do more of this. This feels really good. And so zoom forward in my life, after college and other things, I started working with at-risk youth when I moved to Arizona. And I was in a program called Free Arts of Arizona. And basically I committed every week to go work with young girls from the age of 5 to 15. And what we were doing was teaching them the arts. And through art and expression, we were able to help them move through their pain and their trauma. We know art heals. And we also know that connecting to your creativity and your expression is very, very important. So I did that work for almost a year. And at the time, that was very much about me just showing up. It wasn't about a lot of hugs and kisses and thank yous for the work I was doing, but it was really valuable work in the sense that you still saw the transformation in the fact that they really did change over that time, and it was important work. So anyway, that's another piece for me that's super important, and that's working with the arts and with children and at-risk youth. And so that's going to weave somewhere into this channel because I care so deeply about that as a project. I've also done a lot of mentoring of women in transition, and I have a background as a coach, life coach, an energy worker, and a healer. And so I've sort of woven all that into everything that I do. However, I did put that energy into one-to-one work as well through a couple of different programs. So that was important. And I also, for a while, owned a healing center and ran a healing center in Scottsdale. And that wasn't really a for-profit place. It was actually a place where people could come and get a lot of things at a very reduced or no cost. So it was about bringing community together. And I do love community. And that's another reason why this channel matters, is because it's a place we can gather and we can learn and all kinds of good things. So I also have a very special passion for the homeless. At the time when I was in Arizona, I was working with homeless youth. And I also was, my life was very much touched by a man that I met on the streets. who was an older gentleman named John. And after my encounter with him, I wanted to give back. And that year I was going to India for a month. And when I came back, which was going to be a couple days before Christmas, I knew I wasn't going to see my family right away. I was going to have a delayed holiday with them. So I thought, why not spend the holiday season in service? So I gathered my community together and we purchased stuff to put in blessing bags, and we had a big party, and we stuffed all the 200 blessing bags, and then we just decided to take them out to the streets. And probably prior to that, I had done a lot of outreach stuff where you just basically write a check and hand it to somebody and do that. But I had an employee and friend pass away at a very early age, and that was her passion, was actually going to the streets and just giving stuff firsthand to those that need it. And so as a result, that impacted me. And when she unfortunately passed at an early age, I thought, in her honor, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this drive. So I think it blessed us even more than it blessed the people we helped that day, just because all of us got to see with our own eyes the problem and how we can make a difference, each of us individually. So to this day, I'm in Kansas City now, and on any given week, you can see me out serving the homeless, making food for the homeless, doing whatever I can to support the causes here. And there's some great programs here, which the very first interview we do is going to be on the outreach here and how successful they're being with the homeless. So look for that. I do have a passion to end homelessness here in the Midwest, and food insecurity, and to provide affordable housing. So with all of that, you can expect to see more of that here on the channel, but that's not the only thing that we'll be doing. So why did I create the channel? What is the deal? So I created the channel because as I started to do this research into this big project, there's a lot of elements, and there's a lot of talking to people one-on-one to figure things out. And I wasn't finding many resources out there that would give me a lot of assistance on a humanitarian effort in one place. And so I thought, I've always been a teacher. I would love to just take people along on the journey so they can learn too. Maybe it's a project that you want to take on. Maybe you just want to know more about it so that you can help others. So that's what we're doing here. We want to glean the wisdom from people who've already done it. Maybe you want to learn how to put together a tiny home village, or you would like to know how to set up pallet homes, or maybe you just want to create better water in your community. I mean, there's all these things. So my job is going to be to sort of report on a lot of this stuff and do some deep dives and find out what we can from people. Also, I really believe in the power of bringing people together to collaborate. And so if we create this community here, we can do lives, we can do other events that will allow us to meet each other from all around the world and gather our gifts, our talents, and our capacities, because we all have something to offer right now. So anyway, I wanted this to be a hub, a place where all of this could come together. You could get educated, you could learn, you could collaborate. And I'm also planning to organize this in some fashion so that it is easy for you all to, look at it from the eye of somebody that may want to implement some of these tools. So I know there's a lot of new humanitarians that are going to be flooding the planet very soon. And so this is also timely, setting this up now so that everyone can start to know that there's a place for you, and that these projects will do as much deep diving. And I'm always willing to hear if there's something you want me to cover too. There's also areas like Maui that have been completely devastated recently, and we're going to be going to those sites and reporting on how those areas are going to be rebuilt. So that will be fun too. So what can you expect for content from the channel? Well, I expect the channel to cover things like ending homelessness, protecting our animals and our, not just our furry pets and friends, which, by the way, mine is right here. You might have seen the little fur ball pop on the screen momentarily. But yeah, our domestic animals, but also our wild animals and protecting of those, building sustainable gardens and ecosystems, protecting the environment, cleaning it up, cleaning up our food supply, ways to nurture and educate our children, and new artistic and entertainment outlets, as well as anything else that's really going to help us to rebuild our new earth. So this is where this channel's going and what I'm excited to present to you. We're also going to be covering new technologies. So there's been a lot of suppressed technologies, and there's also been a lot of rumors of what's possible in the future. But this channel is going to be a place where the real legit stuff will be talked about. And most of what I'll be sharing about are actually free tools. These are things that will be a gift to humanity. And so you'll be hearing about those incredible advancements in healing, and also building, things like 3D building and where that's all going. And I'm going to be speaking with humanitarians who have already done some amazing work on the planet. Maybe they're authors, maybe they're just speakers, maybe they're just quietly doing good work, and you never get to hear that much about their good deeds. So we're going to hear from them. So who is the channel for? The channel is for you if you're someone who would like to learn and grow, and you want to maybe start a project and make a difference, but you want to be able to find your peeps. Maybe you don't want to do this all alone. You want to gather a tribe, right? So, or you would just love to learn and know from the people who have gone before you how it's done, and not reinvent the wheel and have to do all the legwork yourself, but would like to see and follow through with some projects that someone else has already done the trailblazing. Maybe you just want the inspiration about all the cool stuff going on in the world. And I mean, we have enough bad news in the world right now, and stuff that's like showing you everything that's imploding on the planet. What about a place for some good vibes and some good news and some amazing projects going on, and some touchy-feely stuff about how it's changing and making a difference? So that's what I'd like to see here. If you want to, maybe you want to share something too. Hint, we all have gifts. And so this is a place where that has a platform. So I invite you to explore this channel with me as we go. I'm sure it's going to evolve. This is just the beginning, but I want to make a huge difference in the world, and I want to create a tribe of others doing the same. And I want to transform this planet into the paradise that I know it can be. And I know that's possible, so that we can all live in joy and happiness and love and peace. So if that sounds good to you, I invite you to come along. Please subscribe, check out the content. We do plan to post weekly, perhaps more often as we go along. We'll just see how it goes. So anyway, I look forward to our connecting here in the future, and we'll see you at the Humanitarian Hub.